A pickfork, a pile of leaves, 12 days. That is everything you need to make the richest soil amendment on the planet. And not a single fertilizer company, garden center, or big box store wants you to figure that out. Most gardeners spend months waiting for a compost pile to do something. They buy tumblers, they pour in activators, they follow every tip on the bag and still end up with a soggy, half-decomposed mess 6 months later. Meanwhile, Amish farmers across Pennsylvania have been making finished, dark, crumbly compost in less than 2 weeks, season after season, generation after generation, without buying a single product. This is not a hack. This is not a shortcut. This is the original method, the one that existed before synthetic fertilizer companies convinced the world that fertility comes from a factory. If you grow anything, tomatoes, peppers, flowers, herbs, stay locked in because what Adam Grove is about to break down on backyard crops will change how you think about your garden forever. And if this is the kind of knowledge you want more of, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. Every video on this channel is built around growing real food with real knowledge. No products required. In the early 1970s, a soil researcher at a major California university was in a bind. His name was Dr. Marcus Hale, a plant pathologist studying how high-temperature composting destroys soil-borne diseases. His experiments needed large volumes of finished compost, and they needed it fast. The standard composting advice of the era said what it still says today. Pile organic matter, add water occasionally, turn it when you feel like it, wait 6 to 12 months. Dr. Hale had no 6 months. He had grant deadlines, experiment schedules, and a research lab that needed material. So he did what scientists do. He started measuring things nobody had measured before. He tracked internal pile temperatures hour by hour. He counted bacterial populations at different depths. He tested different layering combinations and moisture levels. He measured decomposition rates under different management conditions. What he found overturned decades of conventional composting advice. Speed in composting was not about time. It was about conditions. A pile managed to the correct specifications decomposed not slightly faster, but dramatically faster. 10 times faster, 12 times faster. Under his protocol, finished compost emerged in 12 to 14 days, every single time. He documented the method carefully. Specific material ratios, specific pile dimensions, a precise turning schedule, exact moisture targets. The system was repeatable and reliable. But when Dr. Hale began tracing the history of what he had developed, he made a second discovery that surprised him even more. He had not invented anything. The method was centuries old. Amish farming communities in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania were already using it. German and Swiss immigrant farmers had carried this knowledge across the Atlantic. Ancient Chinese agricultural records describe the same layering and turning techniques more than 4,000 years ago. French market gardeners had a name for it. Indian agricultural reformers had written about it in the 1920s. The science was new, the method was ancient, and somewhere between traditional farming and industrial agriculture, the knowledge had been quietly set aside. To understand why this method works, you need to understand what composting actually is. It is not magic. It is not waiting. It's a biological process driven by microorganisms, primarily bacteria and fungi, that consume organic material and break it down into stable humus. In a neglected pile, those microorganisms only work where conditions allow. Oxygen penetrates a few inches from the surface. The interior goes anaerobic, oxygen depleted, and decomposition essentially stalls. Slow-acting bacteria take over. The process drags on for months. The 12-day method creates the opposite conditions. Every factor that bacteria need to work at full speed is deliberately maintained throughout the entire pile. Carbon to nitrogen ratio. Bacteria require both carbon for energy and nitrogen for protein synthesis. The ideal ratio is roughly 30 parts carbon to 1 part nitrogen by dry weight. Too much carbon and bacteria run out of nitrogen and go dormant. Too much nitrogen and they burn through it rapidly, then collapse, leaving a slimy, foul-smelling pile. At the correct ratio, bacterial populations double every few hours. The pile becomes a biological furnace. Oxygen supply. Aerobic bacteria, the fast-working species responsible for rapid decomposition, need continuous oxygen. The 12-day method delivers oxygen through regular turning. The pile is turned every second day, moving outer material to the core and core material to the outside. No part of the pile remains oxygen-starved. Aerobic decomposition runs continuously throughout the entire mass. Moisture level. Bacteria are living organisms. They need water. A dry pile is a dormant pile, but too much water fills the air spaces that oxygen needs. The target moisture level is 50 to 60%, what gardeners describe as a wrung-out sponge. Squeeze a fistful of material. 1 or 2 drops of water should appear. That is the target. Particle size. Smaller particles expose more surface area to bacterial contact. More surface area means faster breakdown. Materials going into a 12-day pile should be chopped, shredded, or broken down. Run a leaves over with a mower. Cut thick stalks of pruners. Tear cardboard significantly accelerates the process. Pile dimensions. The pile must be large enough to generate and hold heat, but small enough that turning remains practical and oxygen can reach the core. The ideal size is 3 feet wide, 3 feet long, and 3 feet tall, 1 cubic yard. Smaller piles lose heat too quickly. Larger piles restrict oxygen flow even with turning. When all 5 conditions are met simultaneously, the pile heats to between 130 and 160 degrees Fahrenheit within 24 to 48 hours of construction. That heat is not applied from outside. It is generated entirely by bacterial metabolism, billions of organisms consuming material and releasing energy as heat. And that heat does more than speed up decomposition. It destroys weed seeds, most of which die above 140 degrees when exposed for several days. It kills plant pathogens that would survive in a cold pile and spread disease through your garden beds. It eliminates insect eggs and larvae. What emerges at day 12 is not just compost. It is sterilized, disease-free, weed seed-free fertility. The Amish did not need a researcher to confirm what their grandparents already knew. Their farming system makes rapid composting not optional, but essential. Amish farms operate without synthetic fertilizer. Their religious and cultural values center on self-sufficiency. The farm must produce everything the farm needs. That includes fertility. Crops pull nutrients from the soil. Animals consume feed grown from that soil. Without a reliable system for returning nutrients, the soil depletes and the farm fails. Their solution is composting at high volume and high speed. Animal manure, kitchen scraps, straw bedding, crop residues, and garden waste flow continuously into compost operations on every Amish property. If composting required 6 months, the accumulation of raw material would overwhelm the farm. Piles would stack up faster than they finished. The whole system would fall apart. At 12 days per cycle, the math changes completely. Material comes in, transforms, and flows back to the fields before the next batch is ready. The system stays compact, efficient, and continuous. Amish farms have maintained this cycle for more than 300 years. Their soil does not deplete. It improves with each generation. That is not an accident. That is the result of a composting system that actually works. Since Dr. Hale's era, soil scientists have added layers of understanding that make this method even more compelling. Research into the soil microbiome has shown that compost produced through thermophilic, high-heat methods contains significantly higher microbial diversity than cold-processed compost. That diversity matters. Plants do not just absorb nutrients passively. They communicate chemically with soil microorganisms through their root systems, releasing compounds that attract beneficial bacteria and fungi. Thermophilic compost delivers a broader community of those organisms directly to your soil. Studies on humic acid concentration have found that rapidly turned hot compost produces higher concentrations of humic and fulvic acids than slow cold compost. These compounds improve soil structure, increase nutrient availability, and enhance the soil's ability to hold water during drought. Humic acid binds to clay and sand particles, creating the aggregated, crumbly texture that plant roots move through easily. Research on biochar and compost combinations has shown that adding a small amount of charred wood material, biochar, during pile construction increases microbial activity and reduces nitrogen loss during the heating phase. This is a refinement to the traditional method that traditional farmers did not know about, but that modern gardeners can easily apply. There's also emerging evidence that compost produced through active turning carries significantly lower heavy metals than synthetic fertilizers produced from phosphate rock mining, which often contains cadmium and other contaminants. If you are growing food, this matters. If you find this kind of information useful, drop a comment below and let Adam know what else you want covered on backyard crops. The channel grows based on what you want to learn, so your feedback shapes every future video. And share this one with any gardener in your life who is still waiting months for results that can
what
come
gardeners
in 12
know
days.
and what has always been possible is not an accident. Consider the numbers. The global synthetic fertilizer market generates over $200 billion annually. The composting equipment market, tumblers, bins, aerators, activators, thermometer probes, generates multiple billions more. Both industries have a shared interest in keeping gardeners in the role of consumer. A gardener who produces finished compost in 12 days does not need fertilizer. They produce more fertility than their garden can absorb. They share the surplus with neighbors. They never visit the fertilizer aisle again. They are no longer a customer. A gardener who waits 12 months still needs fertilizer. The slow pile is not feeding the garden in spring. The bags and bottles in the garden center are. The dependency is maintained. The fertilizer industry did not run a campaign against rapid composting. They simply did not fund its promotion. Agricultural extension programs, many supported by industry relationships, taught the slow and wait method as if it were the only method. Composting guides from organizations with industry ties emphasized patience and products. The active management at the core of rapid composting, knowledge that requires no purchase, was consistently left out of the curriculum. The equipment industry built a parallel story. Tumblers that promise faster results but still took 4 to 6 weeks. Activator products containing bacteria already present in any shovelful of garden soil. Aerating tools for piles that would not need them if simply turned with a pitchfork. None of it was necessary. All of it was profitable. The method that requires nothing but knowledge was not hidden by force. It was hidden by omission. Nobody taught it. Now, Backyard Crops is teaching it. Give this video a like if you think that matters. It genuinely helps more people find this content. Here is every step required to build a working 12-day compost pile. Gather materials. You need 2 categories. Browns, carbon-rich materials, include dry leaves, straw, shredded cardboard, wood chips, dry hay, and sawdust. Greens, nitrogen-rich materials, include fresh grass clippings, kitchen vegetable scraps, coffee grounds, fresh animal manure, and green garden trimmings. The target ratio is 2 parts browns to 1 part greens by volume. This achieves approximately the 30-to-1 carbon to nitrogen balance bacteria need. Prepare materials. Shred or chop everything before it goes into the pile. Whole leaves mat together and block airflow. Thick stalks take weeks to break down if left intact. Run dry leaves over with a lawnmower. Cut crop residue with pruning shears. Tear cardboard into hand-sized pieces. This single preparation step can reduce total composting time by 3 to 5 days. Build the pile. Start with a 6-inch base layer of browns directly on the ground. This promotes drainage and provides initial carbon. Add a 3-inch layer of greens. Continue alternating layers, 6 inches of browns, 3 inches of greens, watering each layer as you go. The pile should feel uniformly moist throughout, like a wrung-out sponge. Dry layers will not heat. Build to 3 feet tall and 3 feet wide. Monitor the heat. Within 24 to 48 hours, the interior should reach 130 to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Push your hand 6 inches into the pile. It should feel almost too hot to hold. If it does not heat, the pile is either too dry, too small, or lacking nitrogen. Add green material and water, then rebuild. Follow the turning schedule. Day 1, build the pile. Day 3, first turn. Move outside material to the center. Break up any dry or compacted pockets. Add water where needed. Day 5, second turn. Pile should be actively hot. Day 7, third turn. Day 9, fourth turn. Temperatures may begin dropping slightly. Day 11, fifth turn. Day 12, final check. Examine the material. Recognize finished compost. Finished compost is nearly black or very dark brown. It smells clean and earthy, like forest soil after rainfall. No original materials should be recognizable. The texture is uniform, fine, and crumbly. If chunks remain or the smell is still sharp, turn and wait 2 more days. Some piles finish in 12 days, some in 14 or 16, depending on ambient temperature and material composition. Apply to your garden. Unlike immature compost, finished 12-day material will not burn plant roots or tie up soil nitrogen. Apply it directly to garden beds as a 2-inch top dressing. Mix it into potting soil at a 30% by volume. Use it as a transplant amendment when setting out seedlings. Store any surplus in a covered bin. It'll hold its quality for months. Fertility does not come from factories. It comes from biology. It always has. The same bacterial processes that powered Amish agriculture 300 years ago are active in every handful of garden soil right now. The same principles that ancient Chinese farmers documented thousands of years ago still work exactly the same way. The biological machinery has not changed. Only the knowledge surrounding it has been obscured. 12 days, a pile of leaves, kitchen scraps, and grass clippings. A pitchfork used 5 times. That is everything required to produce a soil amendment that no synthetic product can replicate. One that contains living microbial communities, humic acids, and plant-available nutrients in a stable, long-lasting form. The fertilizer industry sells $200 billion of product every year. The composting equipment industry adds billions more. Both depend on gardeners remaining uninformed. The method that empties both those aisles is a pile, a pitchfork, and 12 days of attention. Share this video with every gardener you know. Not for the views, for the knowledge. Every gardener who learns this method is one more gardener who never needs to buy fertility again. That is the actual goal of backyard crops, to grow a community of growers who depend on biology, not on products. Subscribe to the channel if you are not already there. Comment below with what you are composting or what you want Adam to cover next. And if you are going to build a pile this week, drop a comment that just says pile going up, because that is worth celebrating. The Amish never stop making compost in 12 days. Now, neither will you.